Okay, so this is just for personal, personal record. I record this to remind myself as well about what I read. So the book I will review this time is The Power of Habit. Actually, the book Power of Habit, in my opinion, is not enough to break bad habit and to start a new habit. So if you really are serious about breaking bad habits and starting new ones that are good, I recommend you to read 3 books. And these 3 books are connected with each other. They actually talk about each other. Except for Angela Duckworth's book, Grit, actually came out after The Power of Habit, but her research started long before The Power of Habit, if that makes sense, right? So Angela Duckworth came out with the research about the power of grit, and then the power of grit was referenced in the power of habit, basically. And then so that's somehow how the ideas evolve, yeah. And also Atomic Habits was written based on the power of habit. So these 3 books influence each other. But my background is a debater. So for me, this book, habit is organizational nightmare, basically. So if you read the book, probably you will find the ideas somehow scattered, and it's like keep repeating the same ideas and then suddenly talk about A, B, C, and then A again, and then B and C is such an organizational nightmare, but I'm trying my best to summarize it based on what I think the order makes sense. And also Atomic Habits is better than The Power of Habits and how to, implement practically. So this is the 3 main sections of The Power of Habit. The first one is about the habit of individual. I think this is the most important and probably people can benefit the most from the first chapter. And the second chapter is about the the habit of an organization. So if you happen to lead an organization, even a company, I think the second chapter can be really useful for you. And the third one is about the habit of society. So the habit of society, I think, is for those who want to be the president, people who want to start a movement, can learn the most from chapter 3. So this is the 3 individual chapters that if you don't have much time, you can just read one chapter that is most relevant to you, I think. So this is the 3 chapters. So I'll just go to my executive summary. Yeah. So this is the order that I came up with. First, if we want to break bad habit and also start new one, first thing we need to remember is we need to understand the nature of habits. So there are 3 parts of habits: cue, routine, and rewards. Cue, routine, rewards. This thing happen over and over again. They become permanent, basically. It's so permanent that it's even stronger than memories. I'm saying it's stronger than memories is because the book cited a research about a medical case. Someone had a certain part of his brain eaten by virus, basically. So he lost a certain chunk of his brain to virus, right? But he lost his memory, but he did not lose his habit, basically. So every morning he still got up at the same time, cooked the same meal, walking around the neighborhood, using the same route, basically. But he doesn't remember his own children. He doesn't remember what day today is, things like that. So habits can be really strong that it can trump our memory, basically. But it is good but also bad, because if the habit is good, then you're blessed, right? But if the habit is bad, then you're screwed, basically. So for me, as a personal motivation, just imagine you will catch Alzheimer one day. The things that remain from you is only your habit. So what kind of person you want to be after you lose your cognitive ability, basically. So I found this particular story to be very motivating for me because Alzheimer's also runs in my family. So I'm actually kind of terrified that someday I will lose my cognitive ability. But I want to have a habit that when that maybe eventually happen, I will at least still have good habit that I will not make other people to repot, like too much have to take care of me or something like that. So I think that's a good motivation. But again, cue routine rewards is something that we have to pay attention to when it comes to habit. And when this rewards in habit is somehow delayed or we cannot get we cannot satisfy it, it will create craving. So then craving is the next term that will be introduced later. Wait. Okay, my husband just arrived. Okay, the next one is we want to change bad habits. One, be aware of the cue. Okay. Don't go autopilot. Habits have become a part of our personality. Sometimes we don't think about it anymore. When people in the habit of smoking, for example, or doing something, they don't even remember why they want to do it in the first place. Okay. So this has become part of themselves. They go autopilot, so they don't even realize the cue when that starts. There are other people who have habit of nail biting, for example. She did not even realize when it starts until she finally thought about it. After I think about it, whenever I'm bored, I started to reach to my nails and then bite it. And this is called what is it called? Yeah, awareness training, basically, which is very simple. Yeah. So we train ourselves to be aware. Oh, okay, there's a cue coming. There's a cue coming. Some cues are more obvious than the other. For example, when our phone ding like that could be a cue. Suddenly you want to check. Yes, now I have a reason to open my phone. Yes, this is the distraction I need. Things like that, right? So a cue can be obvious, can also be subtle. We need to be aware of the what they are. Next one, if you are you get the answer, what the cue is, there are two tricks you can do. The first one, you can remove the cues when you can. So if you are addicted to your phone, maybe put it in silence is the lightest possible way, or put it away altogether or something like that. Some people have extreme case of if they want to do something important, they actually go on a plane. They have to go on a plane because, like it or not, they have to turn off their phone and then do the work, something like that. So there's a very, not from this book, but there was a famous example when there was a CEO had to do something important. He actually booked a return flight from New York to Japan and then back to New York, only because he wanted to force himself to turn off the cell phone. No one can contact him, so he could do the work. Basically removing the cue when you can. The second one is if you are unable to remove the cue, you need to keep the cues and the rewards, but change the routines. For example, whenever there's an urge or the cue to smoke, for example, okay. Now I started to feel like I want to smoke, right? Instead of go with the flow, like suddenly reach for the cigarette, do something else, such as push up. So whatever yes, it's true. It's one of the suggested here. Whenever you feel like smoking, just push up 2 times. The smoking, push up 2 times. Yeah. Sooner or later, you don't want to smoke because you're too tired. Too tired, something like that, right? So keep the cue and the reward, but change the routine that come after that. The other example here in the book is nail biting. So someone had the habit of nail biting. Whenever the urge comes, usually she felt tingles on her fingers, right? And then she would sit on her head whenever the tingles happen. Then release it. When the tingle happens, to sit on her head. And after that. So this is something very simple. Yeah. Now, to start good habits, Next one is find a keystone habit. Think carefully. A keystone habit is one habit, if you change, it has a spillover effect to other parts of your life. Okay. So the book doesn't recommend you to start 5 new habits at the same time. Do not start with 5 or so many habits at the same time, because this will make less chance for those habits to stick. So it's better for you to just find one habit you want to start, but make sure the habit is really important that can have a spillover effects to other parts of your life. So for example, usually people start with exercise, exercise. But the exercise have to aim high. So people usually have small wins, they call it here, small wins. So aim for, I want to jog 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes is all you need, because over time, your reward system will increase the number by itself. After for some time jogging 5 minutes a day, no longer satisfied with 5 minutes. Suddenly your body wants more. Wait, I can do 5 minutes. Maybe I can do 7 minutes next time or something like that, right? So start with small wins. Don't be too ambitious. If you want to start reading, Rizka that said she wanted to start reading again, start read 2 pages after brushing teeth, for example. Every time you brush your teeth, read 2 pages. That's already a small win, because the sense of accomplishment is really important in our form of habit. It creates a reward, and after the reward comes over and over again, it creates craving. Soon, you will feel like if I don't read, I feel something is missing. And that's when the craving happens. But it takes time to form from rewards to turn a rewards into craving. Yeah. So another one is remove the barriers. So usually we as human have a lot of excuses if we want to do something. So as much as we can, we need to remove the barriers. For example, if you want to start exercising, put the shoes beside your bed. Put the shoes beside your bed. So that's like the closest possible distance to your bed. When you wake up, put the shoes on right away, even before breakfast, before going to toilet, before going to do that. So this will create, what is it called? After you put on the shoes, immediately you feel like, okay, I'm ready to run, something like that. So remove the barriers. Avoid too many steps to start an activity. So people usually, it requires you walk next room and then open the case, choose the shoes. It's so many, so many steps. We usually just give up. So in this case, you need to make the steps as minimum, just like the example right here. Next one is stack your new habit to the already established one. I'm sure everyone has a habit that has been established. For example, brush your teeth, right? So you need to attach this new habit to the one you already have. For example, brush your teeth. After brushing your teeth, read 2 pages. After brush your teeth, jog for 5 minutes. Or maybe you have a habit of checking Instagram. Every time I check Instagram, I will push up 2 times. Something like that. So that will stack your habit into one. So I really want to check Instagram, but I have to push up at the same time. Something like that, right? That's actually a good trick to attach your new habit to the old one. Next one is keep the good habits. We need to realize that once a habit is formed, it will stay there forever in our brain, including the bad habits we don't do anymore. That's why a lot of cases when people stop drinking or stop smoking, but suddenly they experience a high stress, right? They can relapse back to smoking or drinking again, because the pattern will always be there, will never disappear. So this is tricky. The book said we have to believe that a change is possible. some people turn to God to keep themselves strong. Yeah. For me, it's really hard to quantify here because the book was not clear what type of belief that make people consistent. Yeah. So whenever you feel a relapse, you want to go back to your old habit, belief is a really important factor here. Yeah. Can be religion. It says you have to believe that change is possible. Now, if you cannot do it yourself, you have to find a community where you can help each other to remind yourself, to remind each other about what needs to be done and what needs to be. Okay, even a community of 2 people is also enough. Don't have to be a huge community, big community. Next one, grit and self-discipline are the best predictors for success in all walks of life. So once we form a good habit, then we have to keep the self-discipline and grit. Now, this is actually very tricky as well, because the one who wrote the book also doesn't know where self-discipline and grit comes from. Yeah, it's still a mystery to even the most professional writers of self-help books. Yeah. Next one, more complex issues. When we find the keystone habit, sometimes the answer is not obvious, like I mentioned before. For example, there was a famous person called Paul, siapa ya namanya tadi ya? I forgot, but he was the previous Secretary of Treasury of President Bush. Only for a few months, he got fired by Bush, yeah. But actually, he did an incredible job. That time, he was researching on the data why the mother-infant mortality rate in the United States was so high. For developed countries, it's embarrassing for USA to have such a high mother and infant mortality rate. So he tried to find the answer, right? But turned out the habit that create this problem was not obvious. So he asked, what's the main factor for this? The main factor they found is because early birth, basically. So when the baby is due before 9 months, yeah. So it's the premature birth actually contribute to the death of the mom and the infant. So what is the cause of premature birth? You know, keep answering, finding the answer. Oh, it's because lacking nutrition. The mom lacks nutrition, but the lack of nutrition happened even before they got pregnant, basically. So they needed to be healthy even before they get pregnant, right? So to solve this, we need to teach all teenagers about eating healthy lifestyle. But then they realize they don't teach that in high school. They don't teach that in high school. Look at the curriculum. No, there's no teaching about healthy lifestyle, particularly about nutrition. Okay, and then they look at the teacher. The teachers do not even know about healthy lifestyle themselves, the nutrition, because they don't teach it in the college to prepare students or to prepare teachers. So finally, the solution is actually putting the curriculum about nutrition and biology, basic biology, in college for future teachers. So the key habit that they found actually is not obvious to change the mother-infant mortality rate. Actually, the solution is teaching nutrition in college for future teachers. But the impact is actually incredible because after he implemented this program, yeah, fast forward 10 years after that, then suddenly they decreased the infant and mother mortality rate by 60%. A lot of factors obviously was at play, yeah, but this book particularly made a direct connection between finding the right keystone habit with the direct result. Yeah. So that's how finding the keystone habit is really important. The next one is in a company called Alcoa, the keystone habit the new CEO found is safety, no injury policy. It was an aluminum factory, yeah, bauxite factory. So they process things with high temperature. A lot of people burn themselves, you know. Sometimes they decapitated themselves with a machine. So the book talk about gruesome accident in factories, yeah, that make this company was infamous. The factory was infamous. But there's a new person became the CEO, and then he implemented safety no injury policy. Actually, it was against the commissaries expectation, yeah, because the commissaries, the stakeholders only care about profit. So when the CEO's main plan is only to increase the safety, no injury policy, actually a lot of people sold their stocks because of that. So the stock of Alcoa suddenly plummeted that year when the CEO's main mission is to do no injury policy. But as it turned out, no injury policy was actually the right keystone habit. Because, for example, he implemented whenever there is accident in all factory all across the world, must reach my desk within 24 hours, he said. Even when the factory is in South Africa, because they had a lot of factories all over the world, right? So this type of request, like it or not, created an effective communication system in the factory, in the whole company. Okay. So then actually with the aim of no injury policy, it has a spillover effect to other parts of the company culture. Yeah. They have a direct communication, effective communication, but also now since the employees and the employees feel like they are heard now, because now whenever there's injury, they report to the boss report to the next one, report to the next one. Now they feel like, now I can talk about other things then. So they started not only communicate about safety issues, they actually also communicate their ideas. So the brilliant ideas that Alcoa adopted after that actually came from the factory floors. So there is very specific instance I'm not gonna explore on this of the limited time. But actually the people in the lapangan on the field actually knew best what happened that time. For the first time ever, these ideas reached the boss, the CEO, and then make changes because of that. And then the company turned into, a certain 200% profit. I think if you read the book, you will see that actually they can turn this company into the profit double, after several years. Well, if you have the wrong key habit, also they can create a disaster. For example, in the Rhode Island hospital, the habit of the hospital is the doctor's authority should never be questioned by the nurses, basically. So, but the doctors sometimes are tired or they're just human. They make mistakes, but they don't want to listen to the nurses. So the nurses just keep their mouth shut all the time, even when the doctors make obvious mistake. Until there was a lawsuit that made the hospital had to pay a lot of money to the patients because the doctor operated someone's head on the wrong side of the head. But the nurses knew that it was wrong, but no one said anything because the company culture that time, the keystone habit happened to be very wrong. So that like a crisis waiting to happen, basically. So what is the culture here in the company is many people's habit when you're combined. That's actually the company culture or organization culture. Okay. Then the last one I'd like to highlight is the study of habits. It's also beneficial for advertising. So the brilliance of Pepsodent. This is the guy who made Pepsodent famous. Yeah, Claude Hopkins. So before Pepsodent was introduced in the market, cavity in the US was so high. Even the general in military complained because a lot of soldiers in the military suffer from toothache. A lot of them, too many of them suffer from toothache, couldn't concentrate when they fight, things like that, right? But what happened is how to promote Pepsodent toothpaste. That time there was already other toothpaste. Right? But what set Pepsodent apart from other brand that time was that they made the reward so obvious. So first they pointed out whenever you feel a film like lapisan yang licin on our teeth, it's time to brush your teeth. That's what the advertisement said. So when you feel like your mouth has a film on our teeth, right? It's time to brush your teeth. So that's the cue that they offer. So people have that cue, right? Everyone has that film on their teeth. And then they brush their teeth, they need the reward. Now, what was the reward? The reward is the tingling sensation in the toothpaste. Actually, the tingling, like the mint sensation in the toothpaste, do not serve any function at all. It doesn't make our teeth cleaner. It doesn't make the bacteria die, basically. It only serves as the reward for us to feel like, oh, after brushing, it's a sense of accomplishment. And this is the obvious reward that the product gave to me. Okay. Now, Pepsodent suddenly exploded all over the world. Even there were already other toothpaste, but without tingling sensation, aka the obvious reward. So that is also a smart advertisement. Yeah. Now the last one is also a product that also failed in the market. The product was very promising, called Tea Breeze. Tea Breeze is the odor removal. Even when the toilet with the bad smell, if you spray Tea Breeze, the smell is gone, basically. So it's a very promising product, right? When the people present to you this idea, probably as an investor, you like to invest. But this product flopped in the market that time. Maybe you've never heard of the product Tea Breeze until now, right? But it came out around the same time as Pepsodent came out. The reason why Tea Breeze flopped in the market is because people get used to the smell. No matter how bad our room smells, we will get used to it. So that's part of the biology. So we lose the cue. Yeah, we lose the cue. Suddenly, I don't feel the smell anymore. So they don't need to reach out for this Febreze and spray it, basically. So that's how when the remove is actually, when the cue is actually removed, or we do not feel the cue anymore, then suddenly we don't feel the need anymore to do something about it. So that's all how the information about habit formation also are used in the advertisement. Yeah. Now in my notes, I have so many things, but all of these things, not all of these things are relevant. But I think if I can just show you one graphic, would be this one. Like, I will make it bigger. Okay, so if you have a cue, you feel a certain sensation that you want to do a certain bad habit. Yeah, you feel it. Usually we have an automatic response, like this girl right here, Mandy's habit loop. The cue, she feels a tingling sensation in her fingers, makes her want to bite her nails. The routine is actually biting her nails right away. But she fight the urge, yeah, and then put her hand in the pocket instead. Now, both of this routine actually end up in a satisfaction. The satisfaction on the left side is the satisfaction of biting your nail on your nail, feels complete, you know. But the satisfaction on the right hand is a sense of accomplishment. Yes, I'm not biting my nail. I win this time, something like that. So Be aware of your cue, change the routine, and then get your reward. Now, the last one that probably I like to highlight is that some habits are so powerful that you cannot even put logic into it. Yeah. Yeah. Which one? Yeah. Or song. Wait, I forgot where I put it. Lose. Oh, here. When habit is so ingrained, such as addictions, people cannot stop themselves even when they are threatened to lose jobs, to lose love, and to lose freedom. So addiction is a different type of bad habits. Now, this one that needs medical intervention. Yeah. So the book even acknowledged for a certain type of bad habits is not easily replaced as easily as cue, change the routine, and then reward. Yeah. If it's such strong, the habits or the addiction have been ingrained in the brain, actually people no longer have logic. Yeah. Even when they are threatened by losing the loved ones, they cannot help it, basically. Yeah. So I think this one, what I can share, I hope it makes sense. All right. So any question? Or anything you want to discuss?
I have a question for you, Mbak Pipit.
Yes, Rizka.
Is there any, I don't know, good habit that you develop or bad habit you remove after reading this book or rereading it?
Yes, actually, the book said that, yeah, to form a good habit, you have to go through the worst first, a lot of people say. So this girl right here called Lisa Allen, a woman, yeah, not a girl. She went through a terrible divorce. She was overweight. She had a lot of debt, utang, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But after she reached the lowest point of her life, and then she started to change, basically, just by choosing one correct bad habit to eliminate, which was smoking that time. Yeah. But she chose the right habit. It was the keystone. And after changing this one, actually triggered a series of changes in her life. Yeah, that ultimately changed a lot of parts of her life as well. Suddenly she started going back to school again, and then blah, 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 and then buy a house and things like that. In my case, I gained 8 kilograms over the pandemic. I've never felt this unhealthy in my life. A lot of my clothes do not fit anymore. So I started to jog 15 minutes a day. I paired my jogging habit with an already established habit, which is listening to the music. So every day I listen to 3 songs, and then during these 3 songs, I would jog. And then after I started this jogging habit, suddenly it also overspilled to other habits. For some reason, I become more efficient right now. I even almost passed a Japanese test, proficiency test, which is, in my opinion, is very difficult, at least for me, because I study every night, something like that. But it started from exercising only 3 songs a day, but it kind of spilled over to my other parts of life. So in that case, that was how I translated it into daily habit.
Wow, cool. Because last time we talked about exercise, you feel like, I don't want to have the sweat. You feel uncomfortable. Awesome, Mbak Pipit.
Yes, like I've said before, I never run except someone is chasing me.
Good.
Yes. Thank you. I only lost 2 kilograms so far, but I feel good.
That's cool. Thanks a lot, Pipit. I got something new from your insights. Reading is different than getting some insights as well. I want to know your opinion about cold turkey.
Oh, cold turkey. Actually, is there anyone who has done cold turkey and still doing it, Kak Imu? So,
Well, some people do that, like maybe on smoking things, but they have to be like threatened probably. A friend of mine was threatened. Anything else didn't work for him. It was hard for him to quit smoking until his wife said, you have to choose smoking or me. If you still smoke, then divorce me. Then he went cold turkey.
That was a very strong kill, yeah. Very strong kill, extreme kill.
Yeah.
The wife was ready to lose the husband.
But how, if anyone here can help me out, how to do that kind of cold turkey for, let's say, the habit to lose weight, or to be more healthy, or to get exercise continuously or consistently?
Yes, I will throw this question to the floor. Can you hear me? Suddenly my internet. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so I will just say it based on the book, yeah. Based on the book, actually do not recommend cold turkey. So the book actually advocates small wins. So for example, if you want to stop smoking, stop smoking for 100 hours. It's okay then after 100 hours to smoke again, but you don't feel that you smoke because you want it anymore. You smoke because what is it called? Your muscles are used to it. You know what I mean? So I think in the book, it's start small is better than cold turkey. But if the cue is so extreme, like I will divorce you if you don't quit smoking, I think maybe human will bow down to that. Although this book said that some habit are so strong that logic doesn't apply to it, even when you are threatened with losing loved ones, because you don't want to get heartbroken because of this wrong threat, right? When people have a strong bad habit, they fully realize that they will lose their loved ones, but they cannot help it. They cannot help reaching out for a cigarette. So we don't want them to have a divorce only because of that, right? So I don't recommend that. Just start with small wins. So maybe dikurangi 5 for a week, and then another 5 for a week, something like that. But how about everyone's opinion? Yes, Pak Wido?
Yes. Yes, actually with my coffee addict, I cannot cut the coffee, but I reduce the frequency from 3 times a day to twice a day. And also to replace the sachet coffee, which has a lot of sugar, with black coffee plus brown sugar and soy milk. But you have to do it gradually. You cannot just cut cold turkey. That's not human, I think. I agree with Pipit. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kavita. Pak Wido?
Yes, I just want to ask, you mentioned that there was done an experiment when someone got an accident and he got amnesia. However, his habit continued. Now, I think that habit is actually not the same as the cognitive part of the brain, right? It's more to the reflex where you do something not through the process of thinking. You just do it because it's a habit. It's more like a reflex. So how do you what do you think of that experience? Is it valid, or do you think it's just something that's just to mention? It's not really apple to apple.
Medical field is never apple to apple. People always have a better variation of disease. So what was applicable to him might not be applicable to other people. But I agree that habit is like an autopilot. We don't think about it. So it doesn't need a cognitive power to know how to breathe, right? It's automatic, or maybe even when we do a complex stuff, then we can drive home safely. But our mind was thinking about
something else.
Thinking about apa, but then for example, udah sampai rumah ya.
Yeah. So actually, perhaps a habit works in a different part of the brain than our cognitive. So
yeah, it's different, and yeah, totally different part of the brain.
So the person who had an accident might have injured his part where it's the cognitive part of the brain. However, if he injured his habitual part of the brain, maybe it's a different result.
Yeah, that's a good point. But also, when Kak Mita mentioned about the frequency, that's also needs to be needs to be monitored, Kak Mita, because there are people who less frequency but double portion.
And okay, one more point. What do you think about a habit being replaced by another habit? For example, you mentioned about someone who could only leave his handphone or disturbance of his handphone by going on a plane. I think that he has created another habit, which is, in my opinion, is worse than his previous habit. First of all, it's costly and it's time consuming.
Yeah, I think creating a new habit is really helpful to remove the bad habit. It's really our choice which one is better over the other. It's like if you want to forget about your broken heart, you find a new person. So how you have to move on then when there's no one else, I guess. But actually, this photo though, sorry, this is unrelated. I forgot to mention about the photo. So there was a riot in Kufa. It's a city in Iraq, right? It was occupied by US, of course, during the invasion of Iraq. So the general that time, I forgot his name, he studied the footage. When did this riot happen or start, right? Usually start by people just gathering in the plaza, doing their own stuff, and then one person start throwing rocks and suddenly it became a domino effect. Now, everyone is chaotic, things like that. But whenever this happened, there's always kebab vendors in the area. Orang-orang jual kebab. Actually, those kebab vendors make people gather in the area. So the general had an idea. Now, the mayor of Kufa, please do not allow food sellers to enter the plaza. Only food sellers, people free to go together here. You know what happened? People gathered in the plaza. They started to get hungry. No kebab sellers inside. Everyone started to go home. No. So what is even the keystone habit was found in this case of Kufa. The keystone habit is people gather in the plaza. They feel their need has been satisfied there. So when their need has been satisfied there, then they are free to do the riot thingy. So that's just an example of how important finding the keystone that are actually not so obvious in the first. Just like when we change ourselves, we want to change ourselves, find one bad habit we want to eliminate. So actually, if we can find the right one, it can have a good spillover to ourselves.
Also, Pipi, I think I like it. You brought the book Grit also as a company of this book, because Grit reminds us that when we were little, our parents and teach us more than they give positive. This changing of our habits is good if we follow the grid's advice, which is focusing on our passion and strengths as our main theme in life. And because we will grow faster and develop ourselves better. And I think that's the best solution. Focus on your strength, passion instead.
Am I losing Kak Mita or am I losing myself?
We lost Mita.
Yeah, the book grid is now is being used by the Ministry of Education in Singapore. So in Singapore, they're now infusing the how to instill grit to students. They even hired Angela Duckworth to, what is it called? To make a curriculum to teach students about grit. Yeah. So we don't know. Maybe even they're done, Indonesia can copy the curriculum. So how do you rate yourself, guys? Do you have perseverance in the scale of 1 to 5? 5 is the highest. Can you maybe write in the chat box? Do you easily give up or do you persevere? Just want to know.
It depends, I guess, on what, because if this is something I'm passionate about, I will persevere. But if it's
usually,
not,
persevere is something that we don't enjoy usually. In the face of things not comfortable, we don't enjoy, we still persevere.
Yeah, but there's something like, say, for example, I don't enjoy, asking people a lot of questions because I feel like I'm intruding their
privacy.
Privacy. But if it's about work and I'm passionate about people, then sort of like a mix then. And I'm passionate about the money. So I will persevere.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's hard to say. From 1 to 5, I don't know.
Okay. Actually, I rate myself also 3. Same. But I don't know, many people told me I'm a stoic, but I think I'm pretty relaxed in real life. So I just create an image of 5. It's good for business. All right. So I think, is there anything else, guys?
Can I ask?
Yes, go ahead,
Kit?
Ratu.
So, I kind of lost all of my good habits in a short period of time, and I feel like I want to get back to the good habits that I had, but it feels so hard. And I was wondering, maybe the book like The Power of Habit, Atomic Habit is good for replacing or finding new habits. But how about to rekindle with the old good habits we have? Is it? Yes.
Don't underestimate yourself. Without realizing it, you make me read books. You even read these books before me, if you remember. I remember. Actually, you made me read Atomic Habits. That's first. When the first year I knew Ratu, he read 34 books in 1 year. I cannot do that, for example. But this book said that our old habit always forever stay in our brain. Always forever stay in our brain. Even bad or good habits. So I think you just need to find the cue. Yeah. A lot of people started in a whim. I guess you don't have free time now. That's why after you move office, is no free time.
Yeah.
So people usually they start a good habit just because they found a small free time. Sadly, they decide, oh, well, I have free time. I want to do this lah. Only one thing. I have 5 minutes free time. Maybe I should jog. Only that one. And that trigger a domino effect can spill. Yeah. Oh, after jogging 5 minutes, I feel good. Yeah. Maybe I will do it tomorrow lah. Something like that. So you need to find just a small free time dulu. And then fill that with something small, achievable, create small wins. And I hope that will also spill over to other parts of your life.
Like a keystone habit, yeah.
What habit?
Like you said, like
keystone.
I have to.
Keystone.
Yeah, it's a keystone habit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know anyone else reading 34 books in a year other than you. And actually doing your habit, Ratu. You took notes of your list. Remember you told me this?
Yeah.
Book called?
The bullet journal?
Yes, bullet journal. I haven't even read the bullet journal. But I'm doing Ratu's techniques now and I found it very useful.
Can I see it?
Yeah. See? So it's like this is as old as time. People make a list all the time, but I never actually do this. But now I consistently make a list of how I spend my day today. So I will not waste an hour even. So I'm sure I produce something in every hour of the day. And when something I cannot do today, I will put it to tomorrow until nulis terus. It's naskah ya.
Yeah. I remember when I was so into bullet journal, I think I was so productive and so many people asked me, Ratu, how can you do so many things? You know, I was wondering, saying, how can I do so many things? Like, and I want that feeling again, you know, to be so productive.
Bullet journal again. I actually copied that from you. So you cannot, you know.
Yeah. Influence each other. Yeah. Yes. I hope I can get back again.
Community is important, people.
Yeah.
Community is important.
Yes. The cues. How to say it from the Atomic Habits is accountability group. Yes.
Accountability group. Yes. Even 2 people is enough.
Thank you, Kak Bibit.
Ratu, I just want to give a comment to you about the productivity. You do so many things. When I just graduated from my bachelor degree when I was like 21 years old, of course, the more things I do, the better. However, after I'm almost 50 now and I listen to wise people, one of my spiritual teacher taught me that in one day you actually have to focus on one thing to get done. That's the most important thing of that day. And then when you get done, then you could continue deciding what's the most important next thing to do. And then you get that done again. So your quality of the importance in your life is a lot better than just doing 100 things, but they're not that important for you. So I learned that after almost 50. So since you're not 50 yet, I hope you're not making the same mistakes what I did when I just graduated when I was 21 years old. It took me 25 years to figure out what I did was wrong. So I hope you don't value your success based on 100 things and say that it's productive and that's good. So
wow, that is so deep. You know, I was thinking about what Miss Pipit said on the word. She said, you said, Miss Pipit, that don't do so many things at once to build a habit. It won't work. And it like hits me like maybe I was trying to build everything all at once, my running, my reading, my everything, like, and I always fail. Maybe I should focus on one thing first. Thank you very much. So revealing, you know.
Well, Ratu
Thank you
is
for
here.
the...
Ratu is here. I'd like to spill it. Ratu, you're like a comet, you know, like a comet. Then,
yeah.
well, everyone who didn't know, Ratu used to be in Toastmasters. So used to be in Toastmasters. First time he joined Toastmasters, like, he made website, he made ini, he made itu. Like, I already predicted. After this, he will just burn out, then leave.
Burn out, yeah.
Because he tried
I
to
was
do
thinking
so many things at the same time.
Yes, I think I should focus one thing at a time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
He made video, he made website, he made Instagram, he made like YouTube channel, everything. I'm like, I think he will burn out very soon. And that's true. 6 months later, burn out. Okay, it's 9:08.
Marathon, not the key. Sprint is the key, because after sprint, you take a rest, you celebrate, you know, enjoy your milestones celebration.
Small wins, small wins. Semangat everyone, whatever bad habit you want to break or good habits you want to form, we just support each other, okay?
Okay. Love you, Rizka, Mita, Upi, and Pipit. I don't love you guys, but I like you.
Thank you for the great sharing, Pipit. It was awesome.
No problem.
It's
Always
wonderful.
awesome, as usual.
Bye.
Picture.
Oh, picture.
Photos.
Yeah.
Photos.
Hey, let's take a picture.
Alright.
Oh.
Mariana, like, she show up, lah. She's the one making the poster. I was burnt out, lah. Rizka, getting your book? Oh, there you go.
I'll have to find.
I'm in a friend's house now. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Pipit.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Pipit. Thank you so much for your sharing.
Thank you, Pip.
Hey, Joko. Sama-sama, Widow. You want to join our book club? Let me know, ya. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.